The doctor's lips were still moving when the room went quiet. Too severe. Little chance. Wake up. Words stacked like paperwork. Clinical? Disposable? My wife folded into the chair beside the bed, sound breaking out of her in wet, uneven bursts. I didn't touch her. I stood where I was, at my daughter's side, watching the machine breathe for her, counting the seconds between beeps, measuring time the way men do when they're deciding whether to forgive or destroy. Her hand was cold, smaller than I remembered. I wrapped my fingers around it anyway. That's when I felt it. Something stiff, folded, hidden with intention. A note. I didn't react. Not then. I'd learned a long time ago that reactions are admissions. I slid it free with my thumb, slow enough not to wake suspicion. Unfolded it behind my leg, out of sight. 4 lines, written in her uneven, rushed handwriting. Dad, if anything happens to me, check the CCTV camera I put in my room. That was it. No signature, no goodbye. Just certainty. I read it twice. Then once more, to be sure the room wasn't lying to me. My wife sobbed harder, face buried in her hands. The doctor cleared his throat and said something about paperwork. I nodded at the right moments. I always do. Inside, something old and disciplined sat up straight. My daughter didn't fall. I kissed her forehead before I left. My wife didn't notice. She was too busy drowning. The house was dark when I got home, quiet in the way that feels staged. I didn't turn on lights. I went straight to her room. The door was exactly how I remembered it. Posters straightened too carefully, bed made with unnecessary precision. A child's room curated by an adult hand. The camera was hidden in a stuffed bear on the shelf. I remembered buying it. A joke gift. For monsters, I'd said. I plugged in the drive. The footage loaded without drama. I watched in silence. My daughter sat on her bed, cross-legged, whispering to the camera, practicing, rehearsing fear. She wasn't crying. That part hurt more than if she had been. Then the door opened. I leaned forward. The timestamp mattered. The angle mattered. The shadow that crossed the floor mattered. What didn't matter anymore was my wife's grief. The truth arrived quietly, the way it always does when it knows it's already won. I paused the video, picked up my phone, and called the police. The officer said they'd send someone in the morning. I told him to come now. I sat in my daughter's room while the video played again, frame by frame. No sound this time. I didn't need it. Sound lies, images don't. The door opening, the hesitation, the hand that reached in, familiar, too familiar. A wedding band catching the light like it was proud of itself. My wife's hand. I felt something press against my ribs. Not anger, alignment. All the small inconsistencies lined up without effort. The way my daughter had started locking her door. The sudden accidental falls. The late-night arguments that stopped when I entered the room. The way my wife corrected our daughter's stories, mid-sentence. Too fast, too sharp. Control masquerading as concern. The officers arrived. I didn't tell them what I suspected. I showed them the footage. I let them draw their own conclusions. Professionals hate being led. They love being right. While they worked, I stayed still. Calm, cooperative. The kind of man people trust because he doesn't ask for it. By morning, the story was already collapsing. My wife returned from the hospital with red eyes and a rehearsed fragility that used to fool me. She stopped when she saw the police. The flicker in her face lasted half a second. Long enough. She looked at me for help. I didn't move. They asked questions. She answered most of them. Poorly. Too emotionally. Too many details. When they mentioned the camera, her voice broke in the wrong place. They took her phone. Then they took her away. She screamed my name as they led her out. Not in fear. In accusation. The investigation didn't take long. Messages surfaced. Not romantic. Worse, calculated. She'd been seeing someone else, yes, but that wasn't the core betrayal. The man had convinced her my daughter was a problem, a liability, a reminder of a life she wanted to erase. The fall wasn't a fall. It was a solution. I visited her once in holding, sat across from her. Glass between us. She cried, begged, explained, used the same words she used when she lied. About small things, missed calls, late nights, strange charges. I slid a copy of the still frame across the table. The moment her hand touched my daughter's shoulder. "I already know," I said. That was the only sentence I gave her. My daughter survived. She never woke up the same. Neither did I. I signed the papers, sold the house, changed our names. The past was efficient to erase once it stopped owning me. Sometimes I replay the footage. Not out of pain, out of proof. Because monsters don't hide under beds. They sleep beside you, and I don't sleep much anymore.